Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to talk about my early league Atlas strategy that I'm using almost every league by now, and I think it just doesn't disappoint me when it comes to the additional income and as well as the absolutely no cost for doing it. First of all, I cannot tell you how many divines per hour I'm doing with this because I don't care about these kind of things. All I care about is enjoying what I'm doing, and if it gets me additional currency while mapping, I'm just up for that at all times, basically, right? So I'm not comparing my strategy with somebody else's strategy or who has the most divines per hour or something like that. This is completely irrelevant for me. But what I can say is what I care about is the early Atlas completion, for example, as well as getting my favorite map slots, as well as getting my favorite map in a ping-pong setup where I can have two maps so I can permanently sustain my maps while getting additional currency. So what am I talking about? It is basically a mix between playing no league mechanics at all while getting Conqueror maps, as well as farming the Exile altars with shrines and strong boxes. So as I said, absolutely no effort, but it speeds up your mapping process and yeah, can give you quite a bit of currency on top of that. So first of all, why do I block every single league mechanic? So I have the feeling that every league mechanic that you are not speccing into is kind of a waste of time. So if I say, hey, Delhi could be good, but Delhi would be a lot better if I spec into all the Delhi nodes, getting the additional rewards, having a chance of getting like more rewards, higher chance of like simulacrum splinters and more bosses and more cluster jewels and whatnot. I'm just saying farming this with Delhi is a lot better than farming it without. So that's why I say, like, you know, why should I play Delhi if I don't even have it on my tree? And this basically counts for everything. There are certain mechanics that are okay, but you probably understand when I say, hey, if I do harvest without nodes, I'm getting a lot less juice out of it, but I still have to spend the same amount of time, most likely, for the league mechanic itself. And since I'm focusing on the league mechanic, doing maps as fast as possible, and getting sustained while killing the map boss, it just doesn't make sense for me to pick any league mechanic unless I would say, hey, I really want to do a league mechanic. Then I would probably make my Atlas strategy around that, and this would be a separate video, right? But early on, as I said, what I care about is the map sustain. So that's why I have shaping the skies, shaping the mountains, as well as the shaping the world. Each of those have like higher chances to drop additional maps and maps higher. So when a tier 14 map drops, there's a chance to drop as tier 15, tier 16, and so on. It just gives me like a lot more maps, as well as the small points over here with increased quantity, all the traveling nodes with increased map modifiers, and so on and so forth. So overall, even the small ones over here, maps found have 5% chance to be one tier higher. I think there's also like this one, 2% chance for one monster in each of your maps to drop additional connected maps. This is something we're going to talk about in a second. But that's why I say, like, I just want to have a lot of maps. I don't want to buy maps, and this basically guarantees me to drop a lot of maps just naturally, where I can just pick out my maps. So if I just go over here, these are just like random maps that I have that are not the two that I want to have, which is basically the Crimson Temple as well as the tower, not the tower, the temple map. But yeah, so basically lots of map sustain. Then the next thing, as I said, no league mechanics because of the reason explained. The next is strong boxes as well as shrines. So shrines, you know, lots of monsters, and the shrine buffs last longer. You have a chance of getting like a rarity or rarity quantity shrine, something like that. The Covacious Shrine. When you click a shrine, then you get an additional shrine buff, you know, so it just speeds up your mapping. Getting an Adrenaline Shrine or something like that, or the Empowered Shrine, you just do a lot more damage, making your mapping experience a lot faster. Strong boxes, please do yourself a favor. If you see detonate corpses or the Ice Nova, just walk away. I naturally just go there, click the strong box, and then move away instantly because, you know, these things do a lot of damage, but I don't want to roll my strong boxes. So there is a note that all the strong boxes are corrupted and rare, so you don't have to roll them. It's additional strong boxes and stuff like that. And the operative strong box is also one that basically drops you a lot of like scarabs. So it's a nice passive income without spending a lot of time in the map. You know, see a strongbox, open it, kill the monsters, and move on, and all the loot basically, right? So that's why I say strongbox and shrine is for me a no-brainer. It doesn't really make the map last longer because of these two mechanics. Even further, it makes the map faster because of the shrines and additional loot on top of that. So, and then last but not least is the Conqueror slash Guardian slash synthesized maps. So I've been doing this for quite a while, just enabling the vivid memories, chance to drop a synthesized map, then chance to drop an Elder or Shaper map, and the chance of doing getting a Conqueror map. So basically, once you kill the boss, there is a chance of dropping this, and this can also get duplicated. It's not like sometimes you just get like duplicated maps or like multiple map drops, and they can go for quite a bit. Like the Conqueror maps, I think they're like 30 something chaos per. If it gets duplicated, easy 60 chaos. This Warlord map is like 60 chaos because it's a Crimson Temple map. It's my favorite map slot, so it's more common to drop that one as well. I farmed basically up my Shaper set, my Elder sets, my Saurus set to finish off my favorite map slots, because one is that you kill Saurus, one is to kill like a Shaper Guardian, Elder Guardian, Conqueror, and stuff like that. So everything I had to not buy anything because I can self-sustain all of that. On top of that, you can bulk sell those, or even like what I'm doing, once I decide, oh, I have another like 20 Guardian maps from my Crimson Temples, I just go over there, put them with Maven Watch. As you see, the Maven's invitation, the Twisted is ready and the Formed is ready. And you're also dropping these kind of invitations while doing the Conqueror maps, and they're also selling for like 70 chaos, or you do it yourself and farm yourself basically some Mavens, like the crests and basically the Maven itself, right? So there's like many things that you can do, or you can like either sell them in bulk, you can sell the fragments in bulk, you can do the rotations, without any additional cost, right? And this is why I like it so much. It doesn't make my map longer, but it just gives me permanent sustain of any kind of like stuff that I maybe want to farm on top of like my regular mapping strat. And on top of that, all in these maps, I have like chances, like when I say like, hey, I have another 10 Guardian maps, let's quickly farm them, and in those 10 maps I'm getting like another 20-30 of my Crimson Temples that I then want to farm or continue farming, and it just like toggles forward, and I think it's like super easy to do with like no effort at all. And I'm doing the blue one, so you can either farm the blue one or the red one. It's pretty much the same points. It's like faster progression, so you're gonna naturally, by just mapping faster without spending your time in a league mechanic, you're gonna get your Screaming Invitations and your Breathing Invitation. They're also selling for like 0.7 divines as of right now. The red one I think gives more currency, but I just like this, like, hey, I have a chance each map to drop like, you know, this like Divine Orb Shrine and just move out with like 15 Divine Orbs if I'm lucky, or if I'm unlucky and not a single one like I had it last league. 2 Divine Orb Shrines, I found 1 single Divine in 2 Divine Orb Shrines, which was kind of naughty, but it is what it is. You can either pick the blue side or the red side, whatever you prefer, but the rest pretty much stays the same. And obviously, the trees linked down in the description below. I also like to do this like this Kirac missions each day, because you're gonna get a lot of these scouting reports throughout playing, you know. Like here I have a couple laying around, I'm just like usually soaking them one up. And what this does is you reroll basically your Kirac missions. And a lot of people are underestimating that, so this one is using uncompleted non-unique maps where possible, doesn't really matter, helps with your map sustain, like, or with your map completion. But what's also pretty nice, you just roll them and hope for Guardian maps or Blight maps. Oh, here's a Warlord map, so I would run this one now, get additional Crimson Temples back, get the Fragment back, and basically just use these Kirac missions to turn my my scouting reports that I can buy in bulk for like super cheap, because barely anybody's using that, and just reroll your Kirac missions until you have like... So basically what that means is I can turn these 24 Kirac missions into 24 Guardian, Conqueror, even Cortex maps or other valuable maps where I can then sell off the fragments, for example, which is pretty cool. And on top of that, let me think of anything that I might have forgotten to say. Kirac missions, blocking league mechanics, additional map sustain. Oh yeah, the ping pong. So what do I mean with the ping pong? I have 12 favorite map slots, while there is 11 times the one that I want to farm, which is Crimson Temple, because of like a possible apothecary. That's why also the strongbox notes are pretty good. But I have 1 temple. So why do I do that? So basically, I have here one of my favorite maps, and then I need to find one of the ones that are connected. So either the temple, the maze map, the lava chamber, or the Colosseum map, which are the connected ones to Crimson Temple. And as you know, we do have a higher chance of dropping connected maps. So I'm taking one of my 12 favorite map slots for the one that I think is the most enjoyable out of all of these. So basically, I'm farming a lot of Crimson Temples, I'm dropping a lot of Crimson Temples, but also my temple maps. And once I run out of Crimson Temple maps, I'm starting to grind the temple maps because they have a lot higher chance to drop me back the Crimson Temples because it's connected, and also my favorite map, which is basically a multiplier within. So basically, I'm just like ping-ponging between like farming all my Crimson Temples, and when I run out of Crimson Temples, I'm farming my temple maps real quick, and then go back and farm even more Crimson Temples. And I haven't bought a single map yet, and I'm just permanently self-sustaining all my maps. But this is basically my early league strategy, and it just gives me nice currency. It helps me with like finishing off everything. It doesn't, I don't spend a lot of time while doing the maps, as well as like playing the league mechanic every single time for hunting these like nice charms that can sell for many divines if you're lucky, hunting down the bosses, and so on and so forth. And it works out pretty fine for me. If you enjoyed this one, then feel free to copy it. And let me know what you think about that one or any improvements. Always happy to read some improvements in the comment section below. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you next time.